This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the Health Minister visits Dunedin to kick off a new immunisation campaign. Dismay over Air New Zealand's latest trans-Tasman plans in Queenstown. And the Regent 24-hour book sale is now set to run for 10 days. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Phil Vaughan. Health Minister Andrew Little has made a visit to Dunedin to outline the country's influenza vaccination campaign. The nationwide rollout starts today, with the government planning the campaign to support its COVID-19 winter plan.
A visit to the south for a nationwide campaign. Media joining Health Minister Andrew Little this afternoon at Te Kaika in Dunedin for the launch of the government's new flu shot campaign.
Today kicks off the influenza immunisation campaign for 2022.
Little rolling up his sleeves as the model for the first flu jab. The government's ordered 40% more flu shots this year. The country usually goes through 1.4 million flu vaccines during the winter season. This year there'll be 2 million shots available.
With COVID over the last couple of years, we've had very kind of low flu seasons, not a great deal of incidence of flu, at least not as much as previously. With the opening of the borders, the relaxation of restrictions, we expect this to be, to want of a better phrase, a bumper flu season.
It's usually free for everyone over 65 and those who are pregnant or with underlying health conditions. This winter, doctors have urged the government to make it available to more people.
We've expanded that to for Māori and Pacific because they have a higher risk of flu. So they're eligible for a free flu jab from the age of 55 and upwards. We're also making it available to all healthcare workers.
Little says the flu kills more than 500 New Zealanders in an ordinary year, but notes this year isn't ordinary, which is why the government's urging as many people as possible to get the vaccine for protection. They're keen to prevent people from getting a double infection with COVID-19 as well as the flu. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Queenstown Lakes District Mayor Jim Bolt is calling on Air New Zealand to restart direct trans-Tasman flights to Queenstown earlier than planned. Currently, Air New Zealand isn't planning to resume services between Australia and the Central Otago town until late June.
Air New Zealand is taking a cautious approach to restoring direct flights between Australia and Queenstown. The airline won't be operating direct trans-Tasman flights into the resort town until the 24th of June, in time for the ski season. But District Mayor Jim Bolt says that's too late, with the popular tourist destination missing out on key dates for Aussie travellers.
That takes us out of the April school holiday period, obviously Easter as well, when we would have expected a fair number of Australians to come across the ditch.
Australian tourists can fly into New Zealand from the middle of this month, but will need to stop over in Auckland or Christchurch to get to Queenstown. Bolt believes that extra flight and the additional cost will be enough to put some travellers off.
Not too many people are going to want to pay a domestic fare on top of the trans-Tasman fare to get here, so I think it's a major cork in the bottle for recovery at this point in time.
Qantas is currently set to be the first airline to resume trans-Tasman flights into Queenstown from late May, with its subsidiary Jetstar in early June. Queenstown Airport Chief Executive Glenn Sowry doesn't believe the tourism industry will suffer too much from Air New Zealand's delay.
So they'll be up and running well in time for the ski season. It'd be great if they could have come a bit earlier, but typically that's the shoulder season here in Queenstown for Australian travellers.
Air New Zealand says it will continue to monitor demand and could adjust the schedule where possible. In Queenstown, The South Today.
Watch out for your next power bill. Consumer New Zealand's Power Switch says April the 1st is when many electricity companies put prices up. The service is warning that some customers could face a hike of up to $1,000 a year on their electricity bill. Power Switch says it's a perfect storm this year, with the industry phasing out low-use power plans alongside actual price rises for supplying power and gas. People are being encouraged to check whether they could be saving money by switching to another power company. Meanwhile, the government is increasing the rates of benefits and the student allowance from today. The minimum wage is also going up to $21.20 an hour, with superannuation payments also increasing. A major event on every book lover's calendar kicked off today in Dunedin after a 2-year break due to COVID-19. The Star Regent 24-hour book sale has opened its doors, but this time the popular event will be running for much longer than just 24 hours.
Thousands of second-hand books and other items for buyers to browse through. This is the 40th anniversary of Dunedin's popular Regent Theatre fundraising book sale. The event had to be cancelled over the last 2 years due to COVID-19, and even this year, restrictions mean only 200 buyers can be in the theatre at any one time. To get around that limitation, it's no longer a 24-hour sale. Instead, it's spread over 10 days, with book lovers being divided into 90-minute sessions to limit crowding.
Yeah, it is different. There's not as many people. You're not sort of squeezing between people all the time.
I really like it. I like this style. Yep, I think it's really good. A lot more room to move.
And organiser Alison Cunningham says this year it's not a case of all the good books being snapped up early on.
There's no pecking order for the way the books are organised. So if you come today and then you come in a couple of days, it's going to be a completely different set of books in the category that you're looking at.
Keen book reader Tony Mitchell was happy with the art books he found on Friday and is already planning to return for another look next week.
So I think the real book collectors and avid readers like to come back regularly to make sure they don't miss out on any books they're interested in.
Over the last 2 years, the theatre's still been receiving donated books and has plans for a much larger sale when COVID restrictions allow.
We were really hoping to be having a giant sale in the Edgar Centre, and that is still our cunning plan, that we will go back to having a 24-hour sale and do everything at the Edgar Centre.
The Regent book sale runs until the 10th of April, with bookings for sessions possible either online or at the theatre office. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A whaiaki nei, still to come on the South Today. The ribbon is cut on the latest southern section of the Te Araroa Trail, and a new home sought for some unique fire brigade history.
Great Scott! 30% off for 30 hours. My mate John's travelling back in time this weekend in his store-wide price wind back. The price of everything's going up, but John's winding the clock back with his 30% off everything. Shop in store or online at mymatejohn.co.nz with click and collect and contact-free delivery options available.
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and My Mate John.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi there, guess who? Do you recognise the eyes? Oh, okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for the great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda.
Hi, we're Eight Concern Otago.
Eight Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including little walks.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Welcome back. After a decade in the making, the Invercargill to Bluff cycle trail is now officially open. The new pathway provides 25 kilometres of scenic travel for walkers and cyclists.
A blessing to formally open the completed trail running past Invercargill's new river estuary. Named Te Ara Taurapa, the walking and cycle trail runs all the way from Invercargill to Bluff, following along the estuary for much of its journey. The pathway's been a decade in the planning, with various sections completed at different times. Invercargill Mayor Sir Tim Shadbolt is delighted to see the 25-kilometre route finally complete.
We really look forward to seeing how many people actually take advantage of this brilliant project. It's taken years, it seems, to get it off the ground, and finally we can relax and cut the ribbons and celebrate our success.
The trail provides an off-road alternative for cyclists and walkers and is part of the 3,000-kilometre Te Araroa Trail network, which spans the length of New Zealand and is traversed by hundreds of intrepid hikers every year. Trust Chairperson David McGregor agrees finishing off this small section has taken a long time.
As Mayor Tim has said, some time in its gestation, but now here. So congratulations to everybody. It's my pleasure and privilege now to officially open this section of the trail.
6 new information panels have been installed along the route, adding a cultural narrative to the walk. Tourism Minister Stuart Nash had been due to open the Invercargill to Bluff section, but was unable to attend due to fog at the airport. In Invercargill, the South today.
Vaccine passes will no longer be required for people to enter the Dunedin City Council's public facilities next week. The council says the decision follows new risk assessments carried out in response to the government's move to lift most vaccine mandates. The public will be able to enter facilities such as Wanaka, the Dunedin Public Library, without showing a vaccine pass. People entering DCC buildings will still have to wear masks and follow all other relevant health guidelines. Tucked away in a warehouse in a Dunedin suburb is a unique collection of fire appliances, lovingly restored by the Dunedin Fire Brigade's Restoration Society. The volunteer group is now looking for a new home for its collection to showcase their treasures.
Historic fire appliances in search of a new firehouse. For the last 10 years, the Dunedin Fire Brigade Restoration Society has been based in a workshop in Burnside, the collection living there rent-free thanks to the generosity of businessman and City Councillor Doug Hall. But the space has now been sold, and Building Subcommittee member Wayne Campbell says it's time to find a new location.
Presently we're investigating a new building to house all our trucks, which will not just be a fire truck museum, it'll be based on a community thing, with a community meeting room for smaller clubs that don't have meeting rooms. They can use our meeting room.
The Society hopes to find a suitable space where they'll be able to showcase classic car and motorcycle clubs alongside their fire trucks.
And our idea for that is we will have 2 months of, say, the Zodiac Club, 2 months of the Chevrolet Club, and then later on we may have a collection of motorbikes. And that'll be open to the public on the weekends.
Many of the volunteers involved in the group are former firefighters, like Melvin Milne.
I joined the fire service in 1956. This follows in the footsteps of my father, who was also a firefighter and was the fourth officer in the Dunedin Metropolitan Fire Brigade.
The Society boasts a collection of restored fire trucks, including this 1935 Ford V8, which were all once in service in Dunedin.
And they came into service and they were very speedy. And there was a restriction put on them by the fire board to not to exceed 45 miles per hour in the town area.
The Society's museum in Burnside is still currently open every Monday for members of the public to view the restored classic appliances. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Great history. A whaiaki nei. Still to come on the South Today. Local art students brighten up inner city Dunedin, and the latest weather details for our end of daylight saving weekend.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Great Scott! 30% off for 30 hours. My mate John's travelling back in time this weekend in his store-wide price wind-back.
And my mate John.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Welcome back. An artwork celebrating Māori connections has been painted on a building at Otago Polytech. Created by 2 art students, the mural has taken the pair more than 4 months to complete.
Putting the finishing touches on what's been a gigantic artistic project. Artists Bella Maresca and Eva Muse have been working together to create this massive mural on the wall of Otago Polytech building Tauraka Pipi, also known as S Block. The artists say their work carries a message of regeneration and healing, which matches the values of the building it's painted on. The mural, called Hau Manu, features Maori mythology and is designed to be a colourful and welcoming piece of art.
I think it's really important to make Māori students feel included in the physical space, which was part of the reason why I decided early on that I needed to include Māori values in it.
The pair started designing the pieces around the middle of the year and were surprised it took them 4 months of painting to complete.
We were wanting it to be finished in like 2 months.
Oh, even
before,
less than...
yeah, like before January this year, but now we're in like the almost fourth month.
They're pleased to be able to leave their artistic mark on a Dunedin building and delighted with the response from passers-by.
Yeah, it's even funny when people just walk past and go, oh my god, that's so cool, and toot and stuff, yeah.
The 2 students are yet to enter the workforce after Polytech, but are hoping to find a job using their artistic talents. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Health Minister Andrew Little has visited Dunedin, rolling a nationwide flu campaign with the shots free to more people. Anger in Queenstown over Air New Zealand's plans to delay the return of direct flights between Australia and the resort town until late June. And the popular Regent Theatre book sale is set to run for a lot longer than 24 hours, with restricted sessions running over the next 10 days. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome in Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. Yeah, we've got an interesting story about the future State Highway 1 through central Dunedin. Of course, it's already been discussed that some people want to have it returned to a 2-way highway, and the new hospital, of course, getting underway, so there's concerns over there with the amount of traffic going past its doors. So the Southern District Health Board is putting forward a discussion paper at its meeting next week where it is proposing returning it to a 2-way. It wants to reduce the amount of traffic, obviously, in front of the hospital and slow the speed down. It's proposing that a 2-lane highway is behind the hospital. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting debate. There's already been a lot of discussion, and as you know, in Dunedin, the minute you look to change something, there's always heated debate around, so plenty to come on that. This weekend marks 50 years of the nationally recognised Dunedin study. Of course, the University of Otago has tracked the lives of more than 1,000 babies born over a 12-month period in 1972-73. In Queen Mary Hospital, so lots of research has been done over those 50 years. More than 1,000 papers have been produced and published. So we talked to some of the researchers and some of the people involved in the study as well about what it's like to be under the microscope for 50 years. There's been some amazing research come out of that, and it's really done a lot of good. So Another story in our weekend mix, a well-known woman, Dunedin's Gillian Bremner, who of course led Presbyterian support for so long in Dunedin. We catch up with her. She moved with her husband Graham to Botswana a few years ago. They've been living over there. Graham's a forensic scientist at the university in Botswana. So we catch up with her. Lovely lady and a lovely story too. She tells us about the change I guess she's had, and talking about hyenas in her back garden as well from time to time. So a bit of a change from Dunedin, that's for
Different than
sure.
seals.
Yeah, exactly. And just finally with sport, important match for the Highlanders tonight. They're up against the Crusaders in Super Rugby. We'll have live updates on our website and a full wrap in tomorrow's paper. You can enjoy it over your breakfast.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Craig.
Thank you.
All right, and now let's check out the latest in weather information.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
A fine weekend lies ahead for the region as a ridge of high pressure parks itself squarely over the South Island, bringing clear skies and cold nights but sunny, mild days. Looking towards tomorrow, Nelson can expect fine weather and light winds and a high of 21. Greymouth, cloudy with a few showers, but also expecting 21 degrees. And cloudy with light winds in Christchurch, a high of 20 degrees. Heading further south, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect fine weather with light southwesterlies and a high of 15 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes area, Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra can all look forward to fine weather with light winds 20 or 21 degrees. Similar but cooler in Te Anau with light southwesterlies and a high of 15 degrees. Northern towns now along the coast, Timaru and Oamaru can expect fine weather with light winds and a high of 16 or 17 degrees. Warmer inland with Twizel and Omarama expecting fine weather with light winds and a high of 20 degrees. In Dunedin, there will be clear skies and cold temperatures tonight with an overnight low of 5 degrees. Fine and mostly sunny on both Saturday and Sunday, just a few patches of light cloud at times. Expect mild afternoon temperatures though with moderate, light to moderate southwesterly winds. Saturday's temperatures range from a high of 16 to an overnight low of 4 degrees. And Sundays are 16 and 5 degrees. Invercargill now, clear skies and a cold night tonight for you with an overnight low of 5 degrees. Fine weather over the weekend with some cloud at times but long sunny periods too. Expect moderate southerlies with a pleasant daytime temperatures but cold nights. Saturday's temperatures range from a high of 15 to an overnight low of 4 degrees and Sundays are 15 and 4 degrees. And that's the news for this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. And don't forget, clocks go back this weekend. Noi reira, kia pai te po, ka ki te ano.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.